Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Beginning or the End? How Hollywood and America Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. By Greg Mitchell. Narrated by Rick Adamson. History is often not what actually happened, but what is recorded as such. Henry L. Stimson, Secretary of War, 1940 to 1945. Cast of Characters. Carter Barron, MGM's representative in Washington, D.C. Jerome Beatty, magazine writer who wrote original top-secret story for Wallis. Roman Bonin, character actor, likely communist, slated to play Truman. Niels Bohr, top Danish atomic physicist who fled to Sweden. Vannevar Bush, head of federal office overseeing science work. Al Cohn, former screenwriter who sold Hal Wallis on atomic bomb movie. James B. Conant, president of Harvard who advised on use of bomb against Japan. Bob Considine, well-known magazine writer, Hearst columnist, author. W. A. Considine, Grove's aide, military advisor at MGM for movie. Hume Cronyn, actor picked to play Oppenheimer. Brian Dunleavy, well-known actor who took role of Leslie Groves. Tom Drake, young actor who played ethical scientist Matt Cochran. Albert Einstein, 1939 letter to FDR alerted him to ability to make atomic bomb, later criticized use of weapon. Enrico Fermi, lead chain reaction experiment in Chicago. General Leslie Groves, military chief and overall director at Los Alamos. David Hawkins, former Oppenheimer aide, tech advisor to movie. Walter Lippmann, nation's most renowned opinion columnist. John Lee Mahan, well-known screenwriter hired by MGM to tweak Weed script. Sam Marks, MGM producer, former story editor for studio. James K. McGinnis, former MGM screenwriter, now exec, right-wing activist. J.J. Nixon, activist scientist in Chicago. J. Robert Oppenheimer, father of the atomic bomb. Wife, Kitty. Tony Owen, Hollywood agent, husband of Donna Reed. William Deke Parsons, armed Hiroshima bomb on way to target. Ayn Rand, novelist and screenwriter for Hal Wallis. Donna Reed, young actress, former student of Edward Tompkins. Charles Ross, Truman press secretary, former newspaperman. Robert Smith, screenwriter hired by Wallis to salvage Rand script. Charles Sweeney, pilot of Nagasaki bomber, advisor to MGM. Leo Szilard, famed physicist who tried to halt use of bomb against Japan. Norman Torug, director of movie whose best films were behind him. Paul Tibbets, pilot of Enola Gay. Edward Tompkins, young Oak Ridge scientist, former teacher of Donna Reed. Audrey Totter, actress who played Groves's secretary Jean O'Leary. Robert Walker, actor who portrayed roguish fictional Groves aide Colonel Jeff Nixon. Hal B. Wallis, very successful producer, now with Paramount. Frank Spig Weed, screenwriter, famous for military flying exploits. H.T. Wenzel, physicist picked by Groves to replace Tompkins as tech advisor. A brief chronology, April 1945 through October 1945. April 12th, President Roosevelt dies. April 25th, President Truman is finally told about the bomb project. May 7th, Germany surrenders to the Allies. Early July, plans set for use of bomb. Szilard petition protests this. July 16th, successful test of the first atomic bomb at the Trinity site. July 26th, Potsdam Declaration calls for unconditional surrender of Japan. Truman gets Stalin's agreement to attack Japan by mid-August. August 6th. Hiroshima devastated with little boy bomb. August 8th. The Soviet Union declares war on Japan. August 9th. Nagasaki attacked with Fat Man bomb. August 14th. Japanese Emperor announces surrender. September 2nd. Japan formally surrenders as the U.S. occupation begins. September-October. Thousands of Manhattan Project scientists form associations and call for international control of atomic energy. October 25th. Dr. Edward Tompkins from Oak Ridge writes his former student Donna Reed in Santa Monica. Preface. With its costly drama, The Beginning or the End, finally completed in early January 1947, including a critical new scene ordered by the White House, MGM dared to screen it for atomic scientists in Chicago. Legendary studio chief Louis B. Mayer had once called it the most important movie he would ever make. Now, after dozens of revisions and deletions ordered by President Harry S. Truman and the military, how would it fare with some of the men who helped create the revolutionary weapon that had been deployed against 2 Japanese cities 17 months earlier? Leo Szilard, who played a key role in developing the bomb and then tried to impede President Truman from using it, attended the preview in the city's Loop with nuclear chemist Harrison Brown, a veteran of the Manhattan Project's top-secret site at Oak Ridge, Tennessee. During the screening, scientists around them erupted in laughter at the broad Italian accent of the actor playing Enrico Fermi, whose atomic chain reaction in Chicago paved the way for creating the new weapon. They chuckled at miscast Hume Cronin's valiant attempts to mimic J. Robert Oppenheimer, the now famous scientific director at Los Alamos. Then they turned sullen as the pro-bomb message of the film became clear, with General Leslie R. Groves, overall director of the Manhattan Project, played by Brian Dunleavy, portrayed as a dashing hero. The scientists had no clue that the movie studio had secretly granted Groves script approval, which he had fully exercised, and then some. Harrison Brown found it profoundly disorienting to see so many former colleagues on the silver screen. The factual errors upset him. He considered the tacked-on love story insipid in the extreme. The ear-splitting noise accompanying the Fermi chain reaction sounded like the walls of Jericho falling. Almost as bad were the flashing lights and buzzing bells. He was particularly outraged by repeated references to leaflets being showered over Hiroshima, warning of an imminent atomic attack. Nothing of the kind occurred. And then the movie didn't even bother to depict the assault on Nagasaki, which he found nauseating. To top it off, the fanciful ending seemed both silly and overly optimistic about a nuclearized future. As the screen went dark and the lights came up, the MGM representative in from Hollywood asked audience members for comments. Nearly all remained silent. Leo Szilard, meanwhile, beat a hasty retreat, slipping out a side door, down an elevator, and out to Brown's sedan parked on the street nearby. There, Brown would find him crouched on the floor between the front and back seats, as if in penitence or afraid to be recognized. If our sin as scientists was to make and use the atomic bomb, Szilard would later admit, then our punishment was to watch the beginning or the end. In the following pages, I trace what might be called the making and remaking of this would-be Hollywood epic, from its genesis, when it was inspired by the scientists' warnings, to the pro-bomb celebration dictated by the Pentagon and White House that it eventually became. There are many wild, unlikely, and entertaining stops along the way, as befits any inside Hollywood account, but this story also charts an extremely significant turning point. For a moment, it appeared that a nuclear arms race and the earth-shattering
Sample complete. Ready to continue?